Hey friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos.
It is it's interesting weather out there. It poured all day and then it got nice, and I hope it stays kind of nice. Poor Albert, our blind beagle, he comes in out of the mud and he's nearly up to his neck in mud because he's small and close to the ground. So those mud puddles are too much for him, but he loves to run through them. Enough about that. It's a beautiful weekend, and let us begin. Brenda, since you're standing, could you come up and light the candles, please? You're already standing. That'll teach you to come in like that, right? How are you? I saw Billy the other day.
Yeah,
You seemed well.
I saw you too. I didn't know who you were.
No. Push forward and then pull the trigger.
Oh, the trigger, okay.
Push forward, pull the trigger. There you go. Push and pull. There you go. Push right
There is
here. You want to do something over here and then.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by lives, give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled lights, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher k'shana b'mitzvotav yitzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you. Hold on. You rock. All right, let's continue with the responsive reading on page 9. Page 9. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On Shabbat, we seek things acquired and shared.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On Shabbat, we stand on the wonderful mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we care nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat, we remember justice as our duty and a better world our own.
So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Let's jump ahead. We'll continue welcoming Shabbat on page 20 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi Librat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Lecha Dodi Librat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Yishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila, lecha dodi librat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor ha'bracha, merosh mikedem nehesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Mikdash hashmelech yimelucha, Kumitzihi mitoch afecha, Rav la hachshevet b'yemecha b'cha, V'hu yachamol alaychem la, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Itna ari me'afar kumi, lishi b'deiti fartehechami, al yad b'ni shai beit alachmi, korva el nafshi gehala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela, Itorari, Itorari, Kiva Ore Kumi Ori, Uri, Uri, Shir Daberi, Kevod Adonai Alaich Nigla, Lecha Dodi Likrat Hala, Pnei Shabbat Nekabila, Lo Tevoshi, Lo Tikolmi, Mahatish Tochachi Matehemi, Bach Yechesu, Anieh Ami, B'nihiv Netayir Al Tila, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat Nekabila, V'hayu L'shimsa, Shosaich, V'rahachaku Kol Mevalayich, Yasis Alayich, Elohaich, Ki himsos chahatan al kala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei shabbat nekabila, yamin osmol, tifrotzi, v'et Adonai ta'aritzi, ayadish ben partzi, b'ni smecha v'nagila, Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabila, Boi b'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha usola, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala, Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat Nekabila. Page 22, let's read the top outdented paragraph in English together. A song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shall rejoice at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Sadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yiskeh shetulim. B'veit Adonai, b'chatzrot Eloheinu, yafrihu. Odinu b'seva, d'shenim v'ra'ananim, yiyu lehagid. Ki Ashar Adonai, Suri, V'lo avlatavo. Page 24, we'll greet the angels who come to spend Shabbat with us. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashari, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Boechem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruch hu l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Seitchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Page 146, please rise. Baruch hu. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Va'ed. May be seated. Let's read together on the bottom of 147. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish. But your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Agavim. 148, let's read responsibly in the English. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world.
We stand face to face with truth.
In each age we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age children grow and become children, and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol vavcha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol me'odecha. V'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al vavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lektecha b'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'ot al yadecha V'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha, u'chtabtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'v'hisharecha, leman tizkeruhu v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim v'yolechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. 151, let's read responsively in the English. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Before our eyes, there's a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There's evil enough to break a heart, and there's good enough to resolve a soul.
When will redemption come? Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. Mi chamocha va'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nahura tehilot, ohusei feleh, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokeyam lifnei Moshe, zeili anu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch v'olam v'ohed. V'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, u'galo mi'at chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, ga'al Yisrael. Top of 153. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. And together in English, give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, aporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. 154, Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית העולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. Please rise for the Amidah beginning on page 155. Adonai sifatai titach ufi yagid tehilatecha Adonai sifatai titach ufi yagid tehilatecha Adonai open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Omer Chasadim Tovim V'konei hakol V'zocher chastei avot v'imahot U'mevii goel lidei b'neihem L'man shemo b'ahava Melech ozer u'moshia u'magin Baruch atah Adonai Magin Avraham V'ezrat Sarah Atah gibor le'olam Adonai V'chayei metim atarav l'hoshia Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem Mechaker chayim bechesed Mechayei metim berachamim rabim Sohomech noflim v'rofei cholim U'matir hasurim U'mekayem emunato l'shenei afar Michamocha bal givorot U'bidam mehelach Melech mimih U'mechayeh U'matzmiach Yeshua B'ne'eman atah l'chayot metim Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei Ametim. Let's continue on page 160, reading together in the English. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfills its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 163, a little bit of Hodah, a little bit of Thanksgiving. Let's read responsibly at the top of the page. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. We'll close out as usual with a plea for peace. In the evening, it is Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim liolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim liolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim liolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim liolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol sha'ah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim liolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim liolam. Tasim liolam. Tasim liolam. Praise you, Adonai, who blesses your people, Israel, with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'mevarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. Page 253 in the middle, one of our many prayers for healing. This one is called Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mikor habracha la'imoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imoteinu Mikor habracha la'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Pages 258 and 259, prayers of our community. And Mark, how would you like to read the prayer for our congregation?
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levacha b'yira na'avod. Mark, how about the prayer for our country?
O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit.
Amen. Shalom, shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Hobayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu Shabashamayim, Sur Yisrael, V'golo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Cheshit Smichat Geulatenu. Again, Aleha B'yavrat Chasdecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Oracha V'amitecha L'Rasheha, Sareha V'yoetzeha, V'takneim B'etza Tova Milfanecha, V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'simchat Olam Liyoshbeha, V'nomar, Amen. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. All right, friends. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
This week we're at Parshat Bo. Bo, it's a biggie. It's a biggie. Moshe and Aharon returned to Paro. Right? Egypt has already endured 7 plagues, and we've got 3 more to go. And Paro continues to resist God. Part of that is that the Torah says that God hardened Pharaoh's heart, which makes Pharaoh seem powerless to change. But I don't think it's that. I think it's what God's showing Pharaoh is that you go down a certain path and you go down so far, and going back is impossible. If you think of addicts, right? They go and they keep going, and no, I'm not an addict, and then they're an addict, and they want to go back and they can't. And that's the same with Pharaoh. He had every chance to rescind all those orders, but he didn't. And so he and Egypt have to suffer through 3 more plagues: locust, darkness, and the death of the firstborn. And Pharaoh's heart is continually hardened. He does not want to give in until the 10th plague. And that's what breaks him. The death of the firstborn. Apparently he had a firstborn son who was taken by the plague. And ultimately he then says to Moshe, go and worship the Lord. And at midnight on the 15th day of the first month, that's the month of Nisan, Moshe and Bnei Yisrael, Moshe leads Bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim after being there for 430 years. What started as a brief sojourn into Egypt lasted 430 years. And embedded in this narrative, we get Pesach, we get Passover. And we're commanded each year to recall the liberation with a special commemoration. We're to eat roasted meat, matzah, and maror. But right before then, at the beginning of this week's Parsha, we get the first commandment given to Bnei Yisrael. All of the other commandments had been given to individuals. This one, this first commandment, all the way in Parshat Bo, which Rashi, our great medieval commentator, says this is where the Torah should start. Because Bnei Yisrael is commanded to set up a calendar. We are no longer going to be slaves. We are in charge of our own time. and we need a calendar. We are no longer slaves, so we can have a calendar that is our own and answers to no one. And this first mitzvah echoes down through history as the first time the people of Israel were given a commandment by God. And we get a review of Pesach, we get a review of Passover. It's 7 days, not 8 days like in the diaspora because of confusion with the calendar, but it's 7 days, and we're not to eat or possess any leaven, anything that could rise. And the first night, it's incumbent upon us to tell the children how God freed not only the slaves, but the children as well. The children who were sitting there that evening, they have to be made aware that they were freed that night as well. Because if the Bnei Yisrael wasn't freed at that Passover, chances are we would have never been freed. And Moshe, we remind them, took us out of the house of bondage and led us to a new life. And that is the beginning of the Seder. The beginning of the Seder is exactly that story of how God commanded Moshe and Moshe took us out. There are 20 mitzvot this week, 9 positive and 11 negative. 11 lo ta'aseh, don't do, for a total of 20. And that's your Torah portion in a nutshell. The clergy world, not just the Jewish clergy world, the Christian clergy world, and I'm assuming the Muslim clerical world was abuzz recently over Bishop Marianne Edgar Buddy's sermon at the National Cathedral on the day after the inauguration. Now, I didn't watch the inauguration. I didn't watch anything with it. I didn't watch anything the day after the inauguration. But I watched her sermon on YouTube. I went and found it. And after I watched it, I thought a lot about it. I thought, was it appropriate? Was it in good faith? And did she really publicly shame and humiliate the president? Because those are the kinds of things I think about when I watch speeches, especially if someone is directly called out in one of them. And in all cases, I think she was spot on. Her lashon, her language was very Christian. There's no doubt about that. She's an Episcopal bishop. So she's not bought into, but she's a lifelong Christian, and I get the language, the lashon, but the niggin, the rhythm, and the backing meaning of the words, it was all Jewish. She spoke from the prophets mostly. And the only word that I would have changed was when she said, Mr. President, be merciful. I would have said, be just, be compassionate, because that's the language that Jews use. We don't spend a lot of time looking for mercy. We want compassion and we want justice. She had a rare opportunity, an opportunity that most clergy would pray for to have. It was a big stage, I understand that, but she had the rare opportunity of speaking truth to power, directly truth to power. And the problem with clergy and those of us who speak a lot, we have a captive audience, and we tend to want to give you what you want to hear. And when you speak truth to power, you don't give them what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. And if rabbis and other clerics started talking every Shabbat about what the congregation needs to hear, it would be a lonely place for the clergy, because people don't want to be told what they're not doing. But here was a perfect opportunity for someone to speak to power and to tell that man, that person, what he needed to hear. Not necessarily what he wanted to hear, but what he needed to hear from a voice of moral authority. And she spoke in a prophetic voice, right? Abraham Joshua Heschel said the job of the prophet is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. And that's exactly what she did. She called for compassion on those who are most vulnerable. We heard the campaign promises, starting with day one. There'll be mass deportations. There'll be this, there'll be that. And this priest, this bishop said, no, you need to be compassionate. You might not like the immigrants, but they are human beings. You might not want them here, but they're here. And they're doing work that a lot of people don't want to do. If you think grocery prices are high now, imagine a Harvard graduate being required to go out and pick the strawberries that you eat this time of year instead of having sharecroppers, having farmhands do it. I'm not saying that they deserve to be abused, but they do work that a lot of us won't do, but we still want the ability to walk into Kroger in the middle of winter and buy grapes and strawberries, things that are tremendously out of season in this part of the world at that time of year. So she took a deep breath and called for compassion. And she hit the main points, all of her main points, all of her major points. They came from our Bible. They were all Jewish. Comfort the stranger. Be kind to the stranger. Pursue justice. Not just what you want, but what is right, what is best for the country. And Jews, believe it or not, have spoken to power many, many, many times in our history, often to our own detriment. But in the civil rights era, many rabbis stood up. Southern rabbis stood up and said, we cannot abide by the treatment of the blacks. In the Nazi era, rabbis stood up, most notably Leo Beck and Joachim, and I just dropped his name, Joachim Prince, who Joachim Prince later emigrated to America and became a very, very important civil rights voice, Jewish voice. Elijah spoke to Achav and Jezebel and called them out for their bad behavior. Natan called out King David for sending his friend to die so that David could have Bathsheba. And Moshe spoke to Paro, told Paro what he didn't want to hear, but what he needed to hear. Famously, in his inaugural address, the president claimed that God spared him from assassination so that he could fulfill God's mission, much to great applause from some of his followers. However, what the president failed to, what the president omitted or failed to realize is that if God did in fact save him, he owes God something. If God saves us, it's not just because we are really special people, but we have something to carry out. And thus, Bishop Buddy had the right to inform him of what God wants of him and us, to do justice, to love goodness, and to be humble. 3 big things for any president to realize that they need, what they need to do. Big things for us to realize as well. But that's the essence. So if you go back and you watch her sermon, you can just go by and tick off the points that came out of our Bible. The Lashon was hers, but the Niggin was ours. And the rest is commentary. So we have to go and do. Shabbat Shalom and Good Shabbos. Mari.
Kadoosh.
And Kiddush. Let's have some Kiddush. Vayher vayivoker yom hashishi vayachulu hashamayim beharetz b'chol tzivam vayachal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa Vayevarech Elohim et Yom HaShivi'i, Vayikadesh Oto, Kivo Shabbat, Mikol Melachto, Asher Bara Elohim La'asot. Savri. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon, im chilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lamikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim. Ki banu bacharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, b'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, in chaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh Shabbat. Please remain standing, page 282, Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tei kedula liotzer beishit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'ratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gohor aleinu k'chol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, shehu notei shamayim v'yotzer haaretz, u'Moshe v'yikaro b'shamayim imal, u'shchinatu zo, v'govei meromim, u'Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efes ulato, Kakatu b'torato, Yilata hayom, Lahashevota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai hu Elohim, Bashamayim imal, V'al haaretz, Mitachat eino. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai imloch li'olam po'en, v'nemor, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol ha'aretz, bayom hahu, yihyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. This week, we observed the following yahrzeits: Roger Gross, Barbara's husband, father of Ronnie, Larry, Danny, and Susan; Harry Cutler, Sophie's husband, father of Ray, Ann, and Jack; Harry and Bihar, Tori Witcher's father; Minnie Bloom Glick, David and Billy's grandmother; Leo Buckholtz, related to Anita; Blanche Engel Smith, mother of Bernard; Bernice Herman, Jack's wife, mother of Ira and Nancy; Catherine Morgan Brown, wife of Irvin, mother of Benjamin and Morgan; Nathan Solocek, Mark's father; Leo Schoenfeld, Ike's brother, uncle to Tony and Jane's father; Steffa Rosenblum, Valerie White's relative; Ruth Joseph Bro, mother of Pat; David Brantner, James Gill's stepson; Marjorie Sampson, daughter of Sammy and Molly; Joan Rose, wife of Harold, mother of Steve, Howard, and Elaine; Albert Reich, Pauline's husband; Sarah Lippman Kazan, Martin's grandmother, Sarah Lippman Kazan, Martin's grandmother. Samuel Glazer, husband of Rose, father of Herman, Norman, and Simon. Bessie Poland Brown, sister to Joan's grandfather. John Baker's great-grandmother, Edna Baker and Urban Brown's mother. Max Levy, Bob's relative. Franny R. Levy, Bob's grandmother. Alan Armster, Gloria Armster Mazzo's father. Philip Mayer Good, nephew of Paul and Lynn. Kenneth Friedman, Harold's son. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us always, and may they all rest in peace. Warner's Kaddish, found on page 294. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shmei Rabbah, Balma Divrach Hirute, Biamlik Malchute, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, Uv'chaye D'chol Beit Yisrael, V'agala, V'zman Kariv, V'natmar, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah, Mevorach, L'olam, L'mei Maya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh. V'yithadar, V'yitalev, V'yithalal, Shmei D'Kudashah, Breichu. Le'elam, Yikol, B'yachata, B'shirata, Tushbachata, B'nechamata, Da'amiram, Ba'ama, B'yibru, Amen. Yehi Shlama, Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, B'yibru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, B'yimru, Amen. May be seated. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos. There's a couple of quick announcements. Service tomorrow morning at 10 and Sunday morning at 9. Sunday afternoon at 1, we'll continue our Hebrew class. And then at 2, we'll continue the Surah class. We're going to be focusing on the Amidah and focusing on the choreography, the correct choreography of the Amidah. When to bow, when to say Amen, when not to do anything. And that'll be Sunday at 2. A week from today, I hesitate to be joyful because Cantor Beth will be here, which means my migraine will be back and all that lovely stuff. No, but she'll be back for next Friday at 5:15. We'll have a tiny human Shabbat. And then at 6 o'clock, we'll have a special musical Shabbat with regular services. Shabbat morning, we'll have our regular service. Afterwards, we'll have a lunch and learn. Then Saturday evening, we're going to have, how do we put it? Music and chill or something. Just come in. We're going to have she's not going to be performing, but we'll have background music and just a chance to come in and relax and kick back a little bit. So that will be Saturday evening. I think it's at 7. And then on Sunday at 1, we're going to have a family Tu B'Shvat learning and craft and a Tu B'Shvat Seder. So if you've not been to one of our Seders, they are a lot of fun. Pesach is fun, but the Tu B'Shvat's funner, I would say, because the food is often much better than whatever meat you get fed on Passover, because, as a vegetarian, I don't eat meat, but it's a lot of fun, a lot of grape juice, a lot of stuff. And so that'll be Sunday afternoon as well. And I think that's all Cantor Beth is doing this time around. So, yeah, but it's a big weekend next week. If you haven't already RSVP'd, please do, because there will be stuff that needs to get ordered. And so look forward to seeing you all there. And then I'll be back on Shabbat. And that's Shabbat. So we're up there. Tomorrow morning, Seth Weisberg is the Darshan. He's going to be giving the Drash tomorrow. And so we look forward to that. And I think that's it, other than the raffle, which is coming up. Buy your tickets, sell your tickets, sell someone else's tickets. I don't know. Mark, do you have anything to add to that?
Sell.
Sell, or buy.
Rabbi, I do have greetings, and I know you spoke to him as well. John Rosenberg. John is in the hospital. He just had a heart valve replacement. He's only 92. He's still a young man, and he is doing super. And he sends all of his best to everybody. Says Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah. Those valves are a long time, so he's going to outlive the valve. I mean, the valve was like 50 years. He's got another 50 years coming. if you don't know John, you got to meet John. He's a great fellow. His wife Jean is also an amazing person, and so together they make a really good, one really good person, right? But the best of both, right? But yeah, I spoke with John, and he's doing well, and that's all. All right, let's close out page 321 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefsa Kol Azai Mehelech Shemo Nikra B'acharei Yimot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nahora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu Yihyeh B'tifara V'hu Echad V'yein Sheni Laham Shelo Lahachmira V'li Reshit V'li Tachlit V'lo Haoz V'ham Yisra V'hu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzur Hebli V'yetzara V'hu Nisi Umanosli Menat Kosi B'yomekra V'yahado Akid Ruchi V'yetishan V'yahira V'imruchi V'viati Adonai li v'lo ira. All right, friends, let's see who says hello to us via the intertubes. We have Nancy Lahan. This is my first time watching. Well, welcome, Nancy. Heather Watts says Shabbat Shalom. Right back at you, Heather. There's Mom. Shabbat Shalom to all from Rabbi's Mom and Cliff from rainy, foggy, and cold Pennsylvania. Stay warm, dry, and safe. Hello to all at service. Thanks, Mom and Cliff. You too. Donna Wilson, Shabbat Shalom from Soggy, Huntington. Yes, Donna, it is soggy out there. And David Johnson says Shabbat Shalom. All right, friends. Lots going on. Maybe not this week, but the upcoming week. So hope to see you. I want to wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom and a good Shabbos. Stay warm, stay dry. And please be safe out there.